Hello, good morning, everybody, especially class 12th biology children. Yesterday, I have a little bit described about the pathogens and the pathogenicity of the diseases. Uh, as I told you yesterday, that in the next lecture we'll discuss about the different diseases caused by the bacteria, fungi, viruses, and many other pathogens. So before starting about all these things, especially I would like to tell you what is the pathogen. Just kind of recalling the things of the previous one. What is a pathogen? Pathogen actually the kind of infectious agent, the kind of agent which cause the disease in the human being. So if you just correlate the previous topic with the pathogens and the host relationship, then you will find that how the penetration of pathogens takes place, in which mode the penetration of the pathogen takes place in the human being, either through the air or through the water or through the food or in which medium. So in this regard, there are the number of diseases which you have to study in the class 12th, the diseases that might cause from the bacteria or from the viruses or from the fungi or from protozoans. So firstly, I'll just take the example of the one disease, that is the typhoid. You all know that typhoid is actually the one of the very critical disease in the human being. Normally, it is caused by the you know a very special and very important bacteria, that is the Salmonella typhi. And how, in which way the entry of Salmonella typhi takes place in the or in the especially in the human being. Uh, Firstly, it can be transferred from the healthy person to, from the now infected person to the healthy person. It transfers from the contaminated food or contaminated water. If a person, normal person or healthy person is consuming or drinking the contaminated water or the food, then the entry of this Salmonella typhi takes place into the healthy person. Then the healthy person get affected by the disease that is called typhoid. Normally, as I told you in the previous lecture, that every disease has certain symptoms, certain peculiarities, certain characteristics. So, what are the salient feature? What are the symptoms of the disease? The number one, the symptom of the disease, if we consider, then we find that the disease shows the sign of very high fever. Number two, headache. Number three, intestinal pain. Number four, constipation. So these are the common symptoms shown by the disease. That there is a headache, there is a weakness, there is a constipation, there is a stomach pain, and most probably loss of appetite. In the very severe cases, if the very high or intensity of infection takes place, then sometimes intestinal perforations also takes place in the human being, and in the extreme critical cases, it might lead to the death of the patient. It's also caused a very severe ulcer in the intestine. So because intestine is one of the prominent organ which is actually affected by this Salmonella typhi. Uh, After identifying the symptom of the disease, then you just have to look up to the next step. What is that? That is the testing. How the disease can be tested out? The disease can be tested out. There are the test which is called the Vidal test. Through the Vidal test, the identification of the intensity, or you can say the rate of infections, can be observed. Excuse me. Then this intensity or the rate of infection is actually the strain of the Salmonella typhi. These all getting observed through the test. that is called the Vidal test. So after identification of this disease and the bacterial infection, the doctor prescribed the medicine that comes under the part of treatment. How the treatment of this disease takes place? Actually, the treatment can be done through the antibiotics. Normally, the course of antibiotics of 7 to 14 days are given to the patient. The common antibiotics which are being used in this infection, that is number one, like azithromycin is there, ofloxacin is there, and then you are having a cefixime, cefoperazine is there, and potassium clavate and cefixime, and azithromycin, and many more. There are a series of antibiotics are being given by the doctors to cure the disease. So the disease typhoid, as I told you, is one of the most important to study, and especially which we talk about the infection, how infection takes place, what are the symptoms of diseases, and then how the testing of disease is being done, and after that treatment. So we have studied the 4 steps. Number one, the causal organism, how the disease is being caused. Number two, what are the symptoms of the disease. Number three, it's a testing, that the how the testing or you can say observation of the disease can be done. And number four, the treatment. Right? Now the next infection, the infectious disease, that is especially, what can I say, that the disease is pneumonia. Pneumonia is also very widely spread, worldwide in spread of the disease is there, and that is actually caused by the Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. These are the bacterial infection, and actually in the infection, what is happening? What kind of symptoms are being shown by the patients, those who are suffering from this type of infections? Actually, the lung is one of the very prominent organ of the human being that is being affected. I said lung. So now question comes, the which part of the lung is being affected? And especially if you see the structure, if you remember the structure of the lung, then you will find there is alveoli. Alveoli, normally you can say the air sacs. So the alveoli of the lungs are being affected by this Streptococcus pneumoniae or Haemophilus influenzae. So in this situation, what is happening? The alveoli or the air sacs are getting filled by the liquid kinds of things. What is the result is that? Result is that the problem in the respiration, problem in the breathing. So actually the congestion of the lungs takes place, the air sacs are getting filled with the liquid. So this actually results in the very big problem in the respiration. So what are now these are the some symptoms and how infections takes place. Now the next step is that what are the symptoms of the diseases? Normally, if you see the symptoms of pneumonia, then you will find that chilling means very high rate of shivering. Chilling takes place in the patient, just like normally in Hindi you can say kapkapi, right? So fever, high fever, and then cough. This entire throats are being congested. Like if there is a problem in the breathing, problem in the properly in the throat due to the big congestion. Next, like during the severe infection, person not able to breathe, and then if person is actually not able to breathe, what kind of remedies can be given? The person actually, the artificial oxygen are being given to the patient, not natural one. Okay, so now we'll talk about this under the category. So how, in which way this other symptoms of the disease can be possible. In the severe infection, sometimes lips and fingers that become, grayish or even bluish in nature. So these are the symptoms of the disease. Actually, how the transfer of this disease takes place from the infected person to the healthy person. This is one of the very big question. You know, a person who is spitting or throughout their cough droplets outside, then the disease infection from the infected person to the healthy person is actually possible through the coughing or sneezing, or from the aerosol droplets or from the aerosol droplets. So these are the different modes by which the transfer of disease takes place from the infected person to the healthy person. Other one, if infected person is sharing the utensils or even the glasses, and the normal person or healthy person is using that utensils or the glasses, then at the time also the transfer of disease takes place from the uh, you know infected person to the healthy person. So these are actually actual transference of diseases. Apart from that, there are the other infections or bacterial infections we'll have to study, like bacterial dysentery, plague, diphtheria, and many more. Right? So, in today's lectures, we have discussed about the disease, that is typhoid and pneumonia. Now, other disease, that is actually malaria. You all know that malaria is widely spread disease in the world. It's not only limited to the India, but also it is widely spread disease in worldwide infections of the malaria taking place. But how the malaria is being caused? Normally, we used to say that if in the bite of a mosquito takes place, then malaria cause. But actual organism which is hidden inside the mosquito, that is the protozoan. What is that? Protozoan. So this protozoan actually normally called as plasmodium. What it is called? Plasmodium. This plasmodium infection leads to the causing of malaria. So but mosquito is just playing a role like a vector. When mosquito bites, then it injects plasmodium into the body of human being. In the next lecture, we'll discuss about the malaria. So till today's one, just you all have to read properly, go through the textbook and try to understand what is the typhoid and what are the symptoms of typhoid and how this disease can be cured. Number one. Number two, how the causing pneumonia is getting caused and what kind of symptoms and signs are there and how pneumonia can be treated. So today's this over. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you.